I'm sure you're aware of the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas. And in this video, I'm going to share with you what you need to know before relocating to Las Vegas. I'm going to give you tips and tricks to make it easy to get here. So let's go. One of the biggest misconceptions when I moved here in 1980 is that we all lived in hotels. And I mean, maybe we all could have back in 1980, but now Vegas is a thriving city with almost 3 million people. So we couldn't all live in hotels now, right? The other misconception that I hear a lot of is that Vegas isn't a place to raise a family. And I actually don't agree with that misconception. I've raised 5 children here. I love this community. And even for things for kids to do, I know when I homeschooled my kids for many years, one of my favorite things to do was taking them all over the valley to do some amazing things. We had a violin instructor who actually played with Celine Dion at her residency years ago. They took as many lessons as they wanted to, from tennis lessons to archery lessons to violin lessons. We did so many things together as a family, and we only scratched the surface. And our weather really does get a bad rap, but we have 300 days of sunshine on average. And yes, it gets windy, and yes, it gets hot. But when I have clients who are moving here from the East Coast or the Midwest, where you get snow, you already understand the concept of when it's cold outside and it's snowing, you do everything you can to stay indoors so that you are nice and warm. And it's kind of the same thing that we do here. We stay inside as much as we possibly can in the summertime, or we're out at the pool, but every place that you go is air conditioned. So whether you are getting into your car, air conditioning. If you're at home, air conditioning. Whatever store you are going into, there is air conditioning. So yes, you can't go shopping and leave your groceries in the car because they'll go bad in the summertime, but the weather is actually quite nice. And we have people coming to Las Vegas all times of the year because of how great our weather is. And we have a variety of neighborhoods that you can live in the Las Vegas Valley. So whether or not you're just an occasional visitor and you want to be right in the center of it all with the Strip, and you want to live in one of those high-rise condos, you can absolutely do that, and you're right there in the middle of all the action. If you want an area that has only single-story homes, we have those neighborhoods. If you want an area where all you see is that beautiful Las Vegas Strip view, we also have those homes. And then we have people who travel a lot. And so there are other neighborhoods that they want to be in so that their commute to the airport is roughly about 15 minutes. The other really unique aspect that we have here in Las Vegas now that we have sports teams is that you have a lot of these athletes who want a sense of security. So they're looking for neighborhoods that have an elevated sense of security. So depending on what you are looking for, there is a neighborhood to fit exactly that. Even if you are looking for historic neighborhoods, we have those too. We actually have registered historic neighborhoods in our Las Vegas Valley, some of which were built even back to the 1940s. So no matter what it is that you're looking for, you're going to find the neighborhood here that fits the lifestyle that you want to live, in the location that you want to be, and you're surrounded by everything else that Las Vegas has to offer. And you might be surprised to know that as far as employment opportunities go, we are only about 20% total in the gaming and tourism industry as far as employment goes, which you might have thought that that would be a really high number, so that if you weren't in those areas of looking for a job, that you may not find anything here. And actually what's happened in the last probably decade is that Las Vegas has really become a hotbed for entrepreneurs. I mean, Mark Wahlberg just moved his family here, and he is looking at setting up a Hollywood 2.0 in the Summerlin area. We have really famous entrepreneurs like Alex and Layla Hermosi who are here, that they just purchased a really large commercial building to house their startup. It is just amazing seeing the amount of people who are calling Las Vegas home, who actually now see the value in living here. I mean, David Goggins, the famous author of self-help, how to get yourself on the right path books, he is actually running around Summerlin all the time. You see him. So you are not just going to get people who are into gaming or tourism. There are also a lot of companies who are either moving one of their hubs to Las Vegas, or they're actually headquartered here. So some of those are UFC. They have a very large campus that is right in the heart of Las Vegas. Allegiant Airlines is headquartered out of Las Vegas. Zappos is here. It was actually started here. So these are some of the brands that you will find who bet on Las Vegas. And a big reason for that is that we actually attract some of these businesses by the tax incentives that we offer, and a lot of the things that we do to kind of draw in those businesses who are looking for a new place to land. So maybe your business could be one of those. There are so many ways that you can be successful here in the Las Vegas Valley. And I am a huge proponent of, if you can buy it, look local first. So coffee shops, restaurants, I mean, some of these really world famous chefs have opened restaurants off strip that are really local focused, which I absolutely love. And if you are looking in the management, hotel, casino area for a job, you can start your search online. And one thing to look for is they have these humongous job fairs, because there's only a small number of hotels that actually own all the other hotels in town. So if you get in your application with one, you can actually kind of just, search for that same position with all of them. So these job fairs are huge. So keep an eye out for them if that is the industry that you're looking to get into. And don't forget, Las Vegas has the 5th largest school district in the country. So if you are in education, that would be a great place for you to look. And then we also have a lot of utility work and government positions. So really, whatever it is that you're looking to do, we probably have it here in Las Vegas. You just may have never thought of us as a hotbed for all of that activity before. And would you ever consider switching your career choice if you move to a city like Las Vegas? Leave me a comment below and let me know. Let's talk about the weather. Well, if you're here and it's below 60 degrees, I'm going to be in a parka. And I don't know what it is, but people will laugh at me all the time because I think that's cold. And people coming from the East Coast or coming from the Midwest, they're in shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm freezing. But I tell you what, if you live here for a few years, you might start to get a little chilly yourself when the temperatures drop. But other than that, winter is gorgeous. You will see snow from time to time in the higher elevations. If you live in Summerlin, if you live in the Northwest, and if you live in Henderson, you will get snow flurries. Sometimes they'll stick, maybe for a day or two, but for the most part, there is no interruption in services. Roads are open. I mean, granted, people don't know how to drive in the rain or the snow in Las Vegas, but that's a whole nother story. You're going to find that in the summertime, we can also get monsoons. While they don't happen often, they are very serious. So our water district actually has a saying. It says, turn around, don't drown, because you need to be very aware that monsoons are serious. So it used to be a really big problem back years ago before we implemented all of the storm drains that we now have with our city expanding and growth as quickly as we did. But just be aware it can be an issue. And then there is a factor of the wind. If you've seen some of my videos that I do outside, you're going to see my hair blowing all over the place. I'm picking my hair out of my lipstick. It really can get windy. But again, if you're prepared and you know to expect it, then it's not a big deal. And I feel like we're talking a lot about how bad the weather is, but when you actually look at it, we get over 300 days of sunshine. And what does that mean for you? That means that you and your family can get out on the bike trails. It means you can go outside and play tennis or pickleball. It means that you can be out hiking and doing all of those things that the fantastic weather in Las Vegas affords you to be able to do. I really do think that you're going to find that there are more great weather days than there are bad. But be aware when you are in our 100+ temperatures in the summertime, just take extra precautions. You want to make sure that you have water. You want to make sure that your air conditioning is working, and that you just make plans that if you go to the grocery store, you're gonna have to go drop off those groceries at home. You can't make any stops because the groceries will go bad. So yes, there are a few times that we have to make a little bit of a sacrifice, but for those 300 days of sunshine, it is all worth it. If you're new to my channel, I'm Eileen Guilbeault, and I will be your guide to all things real estate in Las Vegas and get you here living in the home of your dreams. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you're notified every single time I drop a new video about Las Vegas. Let's continue. At first glance, and you may have heard that people aren't that friendly who live in Las Vegas, and that it is hard to make connections. But there is a part that maybe people don't see. We're not really a typical city where everyone works the same shifts. So we have here in Las Vegas a lot of what you would call shift workers. They work shifts that aren't the 9 to 5 shift. So you actually may live next to a Cirque du Soleil performer who their last show doesn't end until midnight. They may not even be getting home until 2 o'clock in the morning. So you may not even see them. Your paths may never cross because they work a completely different shift than you. And then you're going to have the hockey players and the Raiders players. You're going to have all of these different people who are actually living in your neighborhood. So it may seem that you may not see your neighbors, you may not talk to them, so that connection piece is kind of hard to find. But I guarantee if you look for connection in Las Vegas, you are absolutely going to find it. So speaking of connection, when I first started in real estate, I really didn't have a group of people around me that I could say, oh yeah, these are my people. Because I actually felt more like a taxi cab driver taking my kids from one event to another event to another event. And so that was my entire circle. And yes, I have 5 kids, so that is a big circle, more than probably most people have. But I felt a little out of my depth. And so I had a neighbor who invited me to a networking event. And I liked my neighbor, and so I said yes, even though it was completely outside of my comfort zone. And you're probably going to laugh when you hear where this event was, because it was at a bowling alley. And yes, I went anyway because I really liked my neighbor. And so we get to the bowling alley, and the first woman that was there as the speaker, her name is Lisa Chastain, and I am still great friends with her today. But I connected with her on such a level that I was like, oh my gosh, I really like what she is saying. And guess what? The next week, she invited me to another event, and that was NABO, which is the National Association of Women Business Owners, where I also went on to meet my lovely videographer who has helped me get all of my videos and actually get myself on camera without feeling like I might puke. So you never know who you're going to meet. And these women that I have surrounded myself with in this community have helped me build one step at a time, not only the network that I want to be a part of, but they have also helped me in business. They have helped me personally, and they have all gone on to not only pivot during the pandemic, create something new for themselves and their families, but they've gone on to write books, do amazing things that I am so proud that I get to call these women my friends. And that circle just keeps growing and growing. So you never know where you're going to meet your people in Las Vegas. It could even be in a bowling alley. So what is the most important factor for you in building a new social life in a new city? Share with me in the comments below. So let's talk education. We do get a bad rap at times for our education system here in Las Vegas. But the truth is, we're actually the 5th largest school district in the country. And yes, we do have issues with our school system, but there is not a one-size-fits-all for every student entering our school system. So yes, we have the traditional public schools. Then we have magnet schools, which of course are to draw kids to certain schools that have specialized subjects. And we have those magnet schools in not only elementary grade, middle school, and high school. The other public school that we have is called a Career and Technical Academy. Those schools usually are ones that you have to apply to. Sometimes if there's too many kids that apply, it's a lottery system. And a lot of times they go by, what are your child's grades? What is their attendance, which is really important? And have they had any prior behavioral issues within their current school system? So once they get into these career and technical schools, and these are usually high schools only, they have subjects like social work, that there is a list for kids to get into the social work program. You can be a vet tech. They have airline pilots, which there is a cost to it because you have to pay for your flight time, but they could literally leave high school being able to become a pilot. There are all kinds of sports medicine applications, which I think is brilliant now that we have all of these sports teams. So really anything that your child could probably be interested in, they probably have at one of these career and technical schools. And a lot of them have buses that will pick up all over the valley. So even if your child wants to do cosmetology, but you're really far away from that school, there might be busing that can pick your kids up and drop them off after school. Then we have a variety of high schools that are private. We have private middle schools and private elementary schools also, but our best known private schools are like Bishop Gorman, where Snoop Dogg's son played football, so you'd have people who are sitting in the stands watching their kids play football, and Snoop Dogg just happens to be there. I mean, it's Vegas after all. So there are religious private schools, there are non-religious private schools, and then in the kind of public school, charter school, or I guess it is a charter school. So it's a cross between a public school and a private school are the charter schools. So the charter schools, again, are a lottery system. You have to apply for your child to be admitted to these schools, and they have kind of their own curriculum. So they are good for people who want a smaller school setting. They want a smaller classroom size, so your kids get a little bit more individualized attention, but you really have to be on board with the curriculum that they're using. And then at the charter schools, at the high school level, there a lot of times aren't the sports. If your kid wants to do like marching band, or they want to do some of these other things, sometimes the charter schools don't have a lot of those extracurriculars. So there is a lot to weigh, but in a charter school environment, sometimes your kids can go all the way from elementary school through high school with the same group of kids. So depending on the atmosphere that you really want for your kids, there are a lot of options. So don't be scared off by hearing, all of the bad things that you may hear about the school system, because you really do have a lot of choices. Upon moving to Las Vegas, you really are going to wonder how you ever lived anywhere else. Everything that is right at your fingertips is going to spoil you. I mean, if you want to go get a 5-star meal, you want to go watch U2 at the Sphere, which is just an amazing sight to behold, or one of your other favorite entertainers, you're only gonna have to get in your car and drive 30 minutes to go do it. I mean, if you want to have workouts and train at the same facilities that the Golden Knights use, or maybe at the Circus Center where the Cirque du Soleil performers train, you can do that. Where else in the world are you going to have access to all of the things that you will be able to do in Las Vegas? Not to mention all of the outdoor activities that are right here, right outside your door. And your visitors are never going to want to leave because there is so much to do here. And last but definitely not least, if you want ice cream at 1 o'clock in the morning, there is a store open for you to get it. You are going to be spoiled beyond belief living in this city where you can do pretty much anything that you want on your time frame. For more videos about relocating to Las Vegas, make sure to watch one of the videos at the end. I look forward to helping you on your relocation journey, and I look forward to seeing you the next time.